Look at you, a digital beggar, shivering in the cold light of a smartphone, starving for a like from people who wouldn't blink if you vanished tomorrow. You aren't living. You are performing a slow-motion suicide of the soul. You've turned your life into a cheap theater, begging for applause from an already dead audience. The Stoics called this alotrios, the betrayal of the self for things you cannot control. You've handed your leash to an algorithm, letting a piece of silicon decide if you're worthy of feeling happy today. Your soul is rotting in the glare of other people's eyes. You talk about hustle and discipline on camera, while your private life is a wreckage of insecurity and cowardice. You're terrified of the dark, because in the dark, there is no one to impress, and you've realized you are nothing without a witness. Marcus Aurelius ruled the world and chose the silence of a tent. You rule nothing, yet you demand the attention of millions. You are burning your only life to build a monument of sand in a digital desert. Every post is a scream for help. Every story is a mask hiding a hollow face. You are so busy being seen that you have forgotten how to be. You are a circus monkey, dancing for digital scraps while your kingdom burns in silence. Kill the feed. Find your soul in the shadows. Rule 1. Starve the noise. Every morning, within seconds of opening your eyes, you commit an act of high treason against your own mind. You reach for your phone. You swallow the poison of other people's emergencies, highlight reels, and manufactured outrage. Just like that, you've fed the monster. What is this monster? It is the suffocating noise of a world that profits from your distraction. It lives on your reactions and grows stronger every time you scroll. You are an emotional ping-pong ball, bouncing between news headlines and strangers' opinions, wondering why you feel like a nervous wreck. Epictetus taught that wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. In the modern world, wealth is having a mind that cannot be bought by a notification. If your attention is free, you are the product. The Stoics guarded their thoughts like a fortress because they knew that once the noise gets in, the king is dead. Starting today, you declare a digital fast. The first hour of your day is a sanctuary. No phone, no news, no voices. You are not a customer of the world. You are the architect of your soul. When someone throws an unsolicited opinion your way, let it pass through you like water through a screen. You owe no one an explanation for your silence. You are drowning in a sea of garbage and calling it being informed. Starve the noise. Let your own voice become the loudest thing you hear. Rule 2. The gap of power between every stimulus and every response. There is a space. In that space lies your power, your freedom, and your dominance. Most people have destroyed that space. They've become biological machines. Someone pushes a button, and they explode. Someone cuts them off in traffic, and their day is ruined. A stranger leaves a hateful comment, and they spend 3 hours mentally litigating their worth. You are not a thermostat, controlled by the temperature of the room. The Stoics called this prohairesis, the faculty of choice. It is the only thing the world cannot take from you unless you give it away. Every time you react instantly, you're handing over your leash to a stranger. You are letting their incompetence or malice dictate your internal state. True power is not being loud. It is being unreactive. When you watch instead of reacting, you gain the tactical advantage. You see the insecurity behind their insult. You see the desperation behind their urgency. You see the reality of the situation while they are blinded by their own chemicals. Viktor Frankl, who survived the horrors of the camps by mastering this gap, knew that your response determines your fate. Starting now, Practice the 5-second rule. When a trigger hits, count to 5. Watch the anger rise like a wave, and then watch it break against the shore of your discipline. Do not let your wounds make your decisions. If you cannot control your impulses, you are just a well-dressed animal with a smartphone. Reclaim the gap. Be the mountain, not the weather. Rule 3. Energy as currency. Imagine you wake up every morning with exactly $100 in your pocket. This is your energy, and it is the only currency that matters. Now, look at how you spend it. You waste $10 worrying about a celebrity's divorce, $20 on a toxic group chat, and $50 defending your reputation to people who don't even like themselves. By noon, you are mentally bankrupt, wondering why you have nothing left to build your empire. You are financing your own failure with the capital of your attention. The Stoics practiced a form of strategic elitism. Marcus Aurelius warned to confine yourself to the present, because spreading your spirit across other people's chaos dilutes your power. You are not a charity for energy vampires. You are a high-stakes investor. Every conversation, every commitment, and every thought must have a return on investment. If it doesn't make you sharper, wealthier, or more peaceful, it is a bad deal. Cut it. Keeping your energy expensive means mastering the unjustified no. You don't owe anyone an explanation for why you aren't available to carry their bags. True generosity requires a full cup. You cannot serve the world from a place of depletion. Be ruthless with your boundaries. If they call it cold, let them. Their discomfort is a small price to pay for your sovereignty. You are a high-performance machine running on low-grade fuel because you're too weak to say no. Guard your gates. Make them earn your presence. Rule 4. Shatter the echo chamber. Your mind is currently a prison of comfortable lies. You've curated a circle of yes men and digital filters to ensure your fragile ego never has to face a dissenting heartbeat. You call it community, but it's actually intellectual castration. If everyone in your circle thinks exactly like you don't have a circle. You have a cage. Agreement is the opium of the weak. You aren't getting smarter. You're just becoming a more sophisticated version of an idiot. The Stoics knew that an untested mind is a useless mind. Marcus Aurelius didn't seek validation. He sought the cold, hard truth, because he knew that self-deception is the only thing that truly kills the soul. You need to be offended. You need your worldviews to be dragged into the street and executed. If you cannot survive a conversation with someone who hates everything you stand for, your mind is a glass house waiting for a stone. Stop seeking safe spaces and start seeking the friction that sharpens the blade of your intellect. Read the books that make you angry. Engage with the perspectives that make you question your entire reality. Growth doesn't happen in the applause of the crowd. It happens in the violent destruction of your current biases. You're a mental infant hiding in a cradle of echoes, terrified of a single original thought. Shatter the chamber. Choose the war of ideas over the peace of lies. Rule 5. Move in the shadows. The biggest leak in your power is your mouth. You've become a victim of the imaginary audience, a mental parasite that forces you to narrate your progress. Before you've even started, you announce your goals to get a cheap hit of dopamine, tricking your brain into thinking you've already won. You are celebrating at the starting line. Every broadcast dilutes the internal pressure required to actually execute. The Stoics understood that virtue is its own reward. Epictetus warned, "Be content to be thought foolish." Real growth happens when no one is watching. It's in the lonely repetitions that never make it to a status update. Stop seeking witnesses for your transformation. If you need an audience to stay disciplined, you aren't a leader, you're just a performer. True dominance is built in the shadows. It is the silent empire that shocks the world, because no one saw the foundation being laid. When you move in silence, your enemies cannot track you, and your ego cannot distract you. Let your success be a sudden explosion, not a long whimper of content. You don't need a support system of strangers. You need the resolve of a man who is comfortable being invisible. You are so desperate for attention that you are selling the blueprints of your future for a handful of digital dust. Work in the dark. Let the light find you. Only when the crown is already on your head. Rule 6. Substance over status. We live in an era of decorated corpses. Everyone is obsessed with the skin of success, the leased car, the rented watch, the carefully filtered lifestyle. You've become a master of optics, but a novice of reality. You're chasing clout, a currency issued by fools and spent by losers. Status is the consolation prize for those who lack substance. You're so busy looking like a king that you've forgotten how to rule your own mind. The Stoics had no time for the indifference of reputation. Musonius Rufus taught that the only thing that matters is the soul's internal strength, not the external applause. If your value is tied to your status, you are a hostage to whoever owns the podium. But substance is unkillable. It is the skill you possess when the power goes out. It is the character you have when you've lost everything, while the world is busy chasing the shadow of greatness. You must become the object that casts it. Stop buying things you don't need to impress people you don't like. Redirect that wealth, that time, and that focus into becoming a person of undeniable capability. A man with a title is a target. A man with substance is a force of nature. You are a shallow puddle praying for rain to look like an ocean. Kill the demon of clout. Build a foundation that can survive the collapse of the world. Rule 7. The silent empire. The final stage of your evolution is the most dangerous for the world you left behind. You have starved the noise, mastered the gap, and built substance in the shadows. Now, you must protect the empire within. Most people come back to the world seeking recognition. They want to show everyone how wrong they were. If you still need to prove it, you haven't achieved it. The ultimate Stoic flex is total, terrifying indifference to the world's opinion. Your empire is silent because it doesn't require a megaphone to exist. It is built on Ataraxia, self-sufficiency. You have moved beyond the need to be somebody. You have become a force of nature. But as this video ends, the algorithm will try to serve you another hit of dopamine to keep you sedated. It wants you to stay a spectator. Most of you will let it happen. You'll scroll down, looking for the next distraction, remaining a slave to the noise. Knowledge without execution is just mental masturbation. The Stoics didn't write for your entertainment. They wrote for your survival. Do not share this to look disciplined. Do not comment to feel part of a tribe. Close the app, turn off the screen, face the silence of your own room, and ask, who are you when no one is watching? If you're still looking for a sign to start, you've already failed. The performance is over. Now, go build something real. This video is about to end. And in 30 seconds, the algorithm will try to serve you another hit of dopamine to keep you sedated. It wants you to forget everything you just heard. It wants you to stay a spectator. Most of you will let it happen. You'll scroll down, look for the next distraction, and remain a slave to the noise. Knowledge without execution is just sophisticated mental masturbation. The Stoics didn't write for your entertainment. They wrote for your survival. The world doesn't need more inspired people who do nothing. It needs men who can disappear, do the work, and return with a soul made of iron. Do not share this to look disciplined. Do not comment to feel part of a tribe. Close the app. Turn off the screen. Face the terrifying silence of your own room and ask yourself, who are you when no one is watching? If the answer scares you, good. Use that fear to fuel your disappearance. You have the blueprints. You have the rules. Now, you must have the courage to be forgotten. If you're still looking for a sign to start, you've already failed. The performance is over now. Go build something real.